Nonverbal communication is everywhere. It's anything that sends a message without using words. Most people just call it body language, but it goes way beyond that. The way we walk, the way we dress, how we hold our arms, even how we tilt our heads, it all means something. And whether we realize it or not, we're always sending signals and reading them from others. I'm Joe Navarro. I spent 25 years as an FBI special agent, most of it in the National Security Division, working counterintelligence. My job? Catch spies. To do that, I had to get inside people's heads, and I learned pretty quickly, the body reveals more than the words ever will. Let's be honest. We all rely on nonverbal cues every day. Ever peek through a peephole before opening your door? Ever glance over your shoulder at the ATM? That's your brain using nonverbal behavior to keep you safe. Even when it comes to choosing a romantic partner, studies show we're influenced more by nonverbal cues than anything someone says. So no matter how advanced or logical we think we are, we're still constantly reading people. But there's also a lot of nonsense out there, like the idea that if someone crosses their arms, it means they're being defensive. Not true. In most cases, people cross their arms because it feels good. It's comforting. It's actually a self-hug. You'll see people do it when they're cold, when they're bored, or when they're just standing around. It's not about blocking anyone out. It's about soothing themselves. Another myth? That looking up or to the side means someone's lying. Actually, when people think, they look around. It's just part of how we process information. You can't use eye direction to spot a lie. At best, it tells you someone's thinking. What about things like clearing your throat or touching your nose? Some people claim those are tells of deception. But in reality, those are just pacifying behaviors. We all do them when we're nervous or stressed. They're self-soothing habits, not signs of lying. The truth is, there's no magical sign that someone's being dishonest. And despite what you may have heard, humans are terrible at detecting deception. Now, let's look at how this works in real life. One case from my time at the FBI involved a suspected mole. An allied country warned us. We think someone who claims to be American is actually a foreign agent. Luckily, we got a short video clip of him leaving a flower shop. At first, it didn't look like much, but then I noticed something strange. He was holding the flowers upside down. Most Americans carry them with the blossoms up, but in Eastern Europe, it's common to hold them blossoms down. That small detail told me he might be from that region. Later, I sat down with him and said, "Want to know how we figured it out? It was the flowers." That's when he confessed. I used to think catching someone came down to a confession, but what really mattered was observation. When you sit down with someone long enough, they eventually reveal what you need to know, not through their words, but through how they act. So what do I actually look for when I assess someone? First, the hair. Is it clean, groomed, or neglected? Then the forehead. Signs of stress or worry often show up there. The eyes reveal a lot too. Are they red, tired, avoiding contact? There's a spot between the eyebrows called the glabella. It's one of the first places we show disapproval. Think about when someone scrunches their face because they don't like something. The lips also tell a story. People tend to press them together or even suck them in when they're upset or holding back emotion. I also watch the cheeks and jaw. If someone is pressing their tongue against the inside of their cheek or sucking in their lips, they might be trying to control how they come across. What we call perception management. The neck and head are important. A tilted head often signals comfort, but when that tilt disappears, it could mean something's wrong. Shrugging shoulders can reveal uncertainty. Hands give away a ton of information. Stiff fingers, slowly rotating hands, fingers interlaced. Those are stress signals. And when people put their hands on their hips, it's usually a way of claiming space, a posture called arms akimbo. Men especially tend to ventilate their neck area when stressed, loosening a collar, rubbing the back of the neck. I also watch the legs. If someone starts brushing their legs with their hands, they're probably trying to calm themselves. And the feet? They're one of the best truth tellers. If someone suddenly crosses their legs, hides their feet, or starts tapping, that could mean they're anxious or uncomfortable. But here's the thing, observing nonverbals isn't about judging people. It's about assessing the moment. What's this person feeling right now? What are they showing without realizing it? We all give away more than we think. Just walking into a room says something. Are you energetic? Dragging? Nervous? Confident? Do you take up space or shrink into yourself? Every detail, from how we blink to how we stand on the sidewalk, communicates something. Most of us blink about 8 times a minute, and that changes with stress. If someone's checking their watch a lot or suddenly walking faster, that can also be meaningful. It's all information, and in the right context, it matters. Even something as simple as a handshake can reveal a lot. It's often the first time two people touch, and we always remember a bad handshake. That's because your body reacts on a chemical level, releasing bonding signals that say, "I like this person," or "I don't trust them." In many cultures, that handshake moment really matters. Let me show you a quick example. In a demo I did with two women, I asked them to stand how they normally would in conversation. Then I pointed out how far apart they were standing. Without realizing it, their bodies had adjusted to find the most comfortable distance. Once I brought up the idea of space, their feet started shifting. They rocked slightly, trying to find that sweet spot of comfort. That's the power of nonverbal feedback. Even subtle things like foot movement can show us how people feel around each other. Now let's talk about poker. Poker is all about reading people. You don't just play the cards, you play the person. Watching body language at a poker table is like watching an interrogation. Right when players sit down before the cards are dealt, you can already see who's nervous. Someone might shift in their seat. Another person might cross their arms or rub their shoulder. One woman had her shoulders raised high. Classic tension. That's the time to collect intel. Then the cards come out. Where players put their hands matters. Some press them down. That could mean the cards are valuable. Some keep their hands close to their body, trying to hide something. Others might pull their hands back, a sign of dislike or discomfort. Ever notice a player shuffling chips constantly? That's not just boredom, it's a self-soothing habit. And again, it doesn't mean they're lying. It just means they're stressed, and they're trying to stay calm. Even when someone looks like they're doing nothing, they're still telling you something. Watch their thumbs, their feet, their breathing. Those tiny movements can say more than their facial expressions. One trick I use? I speed up footage to double speed. That makes all the important nonverbals jump out, like a cartoon version of real life. You see who's confident, who's nervous, and who's about to crack. People talk about having a poker face, but here's the truth. You can have a poker face, but you can't have a poker body. Somewhere, it's going to show. Back when I was in college in the 70s, you couldn't take a class on nonverbal communication. It just wasn't taught. But over time, I realized it's everything. It's how we build relationships. It's how we protect ourselves. It's how we navigate the world. Nonverbals aren't just background noise. They're the real language we all speak. They shape every conversation, every decision, every connection. And we rely on them, whether we realize it or not. So if you want to understand people better, start paying attention to what they're not saying.